clicked on this video, there's a fair chance that you have absolutely no idea what the Veiled Present is, who I am, or what we're doing here, anything on this channel. Disregard a whole lot of the stuff that you're going to see on this, unless you like wrestling or gaming content or anything like that. Go check it out and see what all of that has in store for you. But this video specifically is going to be known as something as far as the story so far, the Veiled Present, or something along those lines. As the Veiled Present is a D&D campaign. It is mostly homebrewed in the story, or in the world setting and in the story, with a few homebrew mechanics and homebrew rules. There's a homebrew subclass that's also present. We've got, homebrew items and stuff like that. It's not a module. I am the game master, and a couple of my friends from high school are the players. You will get to know them through the campaign and through the story that we will ultimately be telling. The Veiled Present is a modern fantasy, realistic fantasy, a little bit darker world. It's post-apocalyptic, post-nuclear, and in this large nuclear event that kind of ruptured a little bit of space and time, the Earth was completely reborn, with Arcana and D&D lore and D&D, slight D&D history, but D&D races and magic and classes and all of these things, and much stronger divine intervention came to be known shortly after this nuclear fallout event, that was triggered by a Dr. Richard Reed. In his triggering of this world event, he also exposed the history of the 51st state, a military lab that was put underneath multiple states in the Midwest of the United States of America. It had been there since the 1960s, and then had been working on lab experiments as far as time travel and super soldiers and autonomous beings that could reload their own weapons and kill without needing to sleep, eat, drink, do any of those things. It was all in a effort to sustain humanity, or so they were told. And once they finally realized that's not the case, Dr. Richard Reed spent the rest of his life trying to figure out how to bring an end to this lab. The nuclear event known as the Zero Event would launch most, if not all, nuclear devices. It's not known on the planet into the air. They would rupture into the ground, destroying a lot of notable landmarks and artifacts in the world that we all know and love, that we all live in the real world. Reshaping the way that rivers flow, connecting oceans and rivers and lakes and different valleys, creating new ones, changing the geography of a lot of different places, and also bringing with it, like I said, like dragons and orcs and goblins and halflings and multiple different languages and multiple different cultures and all these different religions and a bunch of different things. Because in the reawakening of this world, the D&D world and the Fey realms and all of those things have also been able to seep through just a little bit, and ruptures open up around the world, and things from other earths or planes of existence will come into the world. Our story takes place 1 year after this Zero event that I've just briefly described. And we have 5 party members who we will follow the stories of through this campaign. Now, every once in a while, one of these party members, Grulvin of the Old Smoke, our barbarian in this party, he will not be present in real life. He's quite busy, just to be honest with you. So we've kind of written into his story some things that'll make it easier for him to not be present for certain sessions, and be able to kind of take his time and be able to recuperate his sense and his brain. Just because real life is stressful, and I'm sure you can all understand that. But we will follow 5 adventurers a year after the Zero event. 2 of them were alive before the Zero event took place. One of them was awoken in the Zero event, to put it best. And then you've got another who was a watcher on an astral plane, who observed an earth of goblins and halflings for the majority of his life, and then fell through his astral plane during the Zero event, and landed on our Earth the day that the event happened. The other, a warforged cleric, who was created for the sole purpose of protecting a member of this party. Go on to further expand some of these characters that you're all going to be able to see in the near future. Our story began with one Louis Leroux, a Frenchman who was resting in Salzburg, Amsterdam. After a night of drinking, he woke up next to a woman and a man in his bed. And he put on his clothes, took a drink of the drink that he had had from the night before, finished it off, and walked out the door. He saw the city of Salzburg, the people in the streets, and began to be struck with an episode of PTSD, where he saw things that happened in the containment wars back in 2022, right before the French military pulled their men out of the containment wars. The containment wars, a brief exchange between otherworldly powers and the human world before anybody knew, and before powers or arcana or any type of changing of DNA or genetics or other types of races had awakened in the world. And in this final battle that he had during the containment war, he encountered a fire elemental and watched his teammates be burned to crisps. He was trapped underneath rocks and barely saved by the fires that extinguished all of his teammates' lives. During the Zero event, he watched many people obviously incinerate in front of him, buildings collapse, warp, and the architecture of them completely change. Rocks and structures in different buildings being suspended in the air before collapsing or disappearing, or completely imploding in on themselves. And in all this chaos, Lewis found the closest bar, grabbed a drink, and just sat down in the chaos as he always had throughout his entire life. After the post-Zero event, Lewis is a blood hunter at level 1 whenever we started. He is currently level 2 in the first session that you all will see. Lewis is a member of the Black Reliquary, a military-like Black Ops kind of organization that have one simple goal, and that is to destroy anything that seeks to destroy our planet, or what was and is the old and new human way of living. That obviously doesn't exclude orcs or goblins or halflings or any of the D&D races or any other races like that. But in the beginning of the Black Reliquary, it was something they had to learn, is that just because these things look different than us, just because they speak different languages, just because they behave differently, doesn't mean that they are inherently dangerous. So a big part of their protocol is identifying if something is a danger before doing anything. Lewis has journeyed far and wide through France, through Germany, different parts of the United Kingdom, under the Black Reliquary, scouting out different missions, scouting out different people, specifically the Quiet Hand, an organization that's linked to a lot of disappearances across the world, but it all originated in France. Lewis has spent 6 months investigating the Quiet Hand in this general vicinity of the United Kingdom, and his journey brings him to the Hinged City, what was formerly known as Chicago in the United States. The Hinged City, known for its massive suspended skyscrapers hinged together with arcane magic that kind of make them float above the parts of themselves that they had detached from during the Zero event, is one of the first main feats of the Artificers Guild of the Hinged City. But Lewis has been brought here with his Warforged companion, H1, who we will get into later, to investigate why the Quiet Hand has shut down a specific area of the Hinged City, and why they are allowing some and denying others access beyond a false wall that they have erupted in the middle of town. Lewis has had some heroic moments, some funny moments. We've seen some very great things from him in the beginnings of our campaign, and I'll show you some of those now.
Okay. I look at Louis and I go, I'd like to try this ale. Can you teach me?
Teach you? It's just like drinking water, my friend. Come with. I show you very easy. Yes.
I'm gonna
leave it already at the L, and I'm just like, we have a full. I was gonna say, like, with full pints. I'm like, all right, with the first one, you want to finish it immediately, and then get your second one, and then like,
I'm
as you
already done
as
with
you go,
mine.
so you could keep the buzz up. You know.
I lift it up and literally pour the entire thing just straight down. I go like this.
I have 3 cups in my hand.
That's amazing. Jarek watches that whole thing. He's just like, holy
I've
fucking
never seen
shit.
anything like that, and I promise you, my friend, I've seen some crazy shit. That is insane.
I go up to Lewis with a thing of mead, and I just splash it in my face. Is this how you drink?
You're doing great, H1. Yes. If
I'm standing there.
That is exactly what you need to do. Yes, you're doing great. Maybe
what-
be a little slower with the emotion.
What do you humans say before cheers?
Cheers. Yes,
and I'll lift my
There
glass
is a
up.
giant flaming humanoid creature roaming around the Hinge City at the moment.
If I were to assume.
The way it's looking. Oh my
H1,
god.
put that in the. It's gonna be.
I've cataloged that, so don't worry. I'll be on the lookout.
I would like to get a picture, if possible, for the cook, but it's not that. It doesn't matter.
I will tell you this right now: it will not wait for you to take a picture, so you better grab it.
Why are we trying to take a picture?
Well, because I have to put it with all information of new creatures that we find in the reliquary. That I have to record that. That's part of what I do.
You've seen other beasts, but you haven't seen one of these ever. Like
we don't have anything of an actual humanoid giant in our codex. The reliquary is fairly new.
They're mostly friendly, peaceful creatures until provoked.
Is this a job, or are you getting paid to do this? Like, why?
No, this is my organization. This is what I do. This is what I give my life for after the.
He gets paid. He definitely.
After
but I do also
the
get paid,
events,
yes.
that's why I was created.
I do also get paid.
No, I wouldn't do that shit for free.
Just trying to get an understanding.
Yeah, I used to be in the military and figured out that orders was something that I needed to get my life back on track. That's why I joined.
I dealt with these guys.
I was just saying, Lewis hits. When you say special team, Lewis hits the. Do we split up? Can I roll under the truck, hang on to the bottom?
You kind of so you tuck and roll underneath the truck. You get between the wheels perfectly.
You can do that. There ain't no fucking DC. No, sorry, my bad. Sorry, I'm fucking with you.
You roll. I felt that though. You roll through because I didn't. But you roll underneath the wheels, right? And you get underneath it, and you because you've seen Captain America, you've seen the Avengers movies, you've seen this shit happen before, right? And you grab underneath the truck, and you kind of grab it, but what you didn't expect for was your legs, and they hit the ground for a second, and kind of like scoot you a little farther underneath the bottom of the truck, and then you're like, oh wait, shit, and then you pick them up, but now they're kind of sticking out underneath the trailer hitch. The next adventure in our party is a drow named Noctis Fryer. Before the Zero event, he was a member of the Black Mercantile Group, a group of people who were essentially contract killers of elementals and things that are otherworldly for the United States military as well as world governments. The day of the Zero event, he was in the woods of Oregon investigating a seemingly massive structure that had been ripping trees out of the ground and destroying parts of the earth in the area, shutting down streets, causing people to miss work, causing people to go missing. Noctis was abandoned by his team in the Black Mercantile Group as this massive earth elemental shot up out of the ground. They dispatched it on their way out, but forgot or perhaps meant to leave Noctis behind as the nukes and the bombs began to fall onto the earth around him. Noctis perched himself up against a tree and watched the beautiful destruction take place before waking up a little different. Noctis is a changeling warlock at the moment. He is level 2. He is a shifty personality who always sees things from a little bit of a suspicious, if not intrigued lens. Very investigative, very... well, you know, we're already here and we survived the end of the world. We might as well make something out of it kind of guy. In the clips that you'll see of Noctis, he's very funny and charismatic, but also very cautious and prepared for the worst at times. He has found himself in the Hinge City looking for somebody named Jarek Halverson, his old leader from the Black Mercantile Group, the one who actually, he believes, called the helicopter in early and left. The last person he saw as his team was leaving the woods of Oregon was Jarek Halverson hanging from the side of the helicopter as it flew away from where the Earth Elemental had come up out of the ground. As we see Noctis, he is sneaking into buildings and walking around the Hinge City. We find him after a day of gathering intel from local criminal groups and lowlifes and finding out more about Halverson and his lackeys and underdogs. Finding out that Halverson is now associated with the Quiet Hand, we see Noctis as he observes a gathering of people in the Hinged City, and he watches as a orchestra begins to play, which is quite uncommon in a place like the Hinged City, especially after the Zero event. It's not very often that large groups of people will be lumped together unless it's something political or something militarized. And so to see this kind of concert in the middle of the open is very suspicious to Noctis. He watches as this blue energy begins to hum from the instruments of these musicians as they begin to fill these blue crystals hanging above everybody's heads far above the concert. Guards don't even pay attention to the people who are around as they look up at these crystals, making sure that whatever this process is goes smoothly, and it becomes very clear to Noctis and the other party members as they were all in this area at the time that this is very organized and orchestrated, and this is not just some random charity event. This is not just some random public musical phenomenon. This is very much something that's being done purposeful. And as Noctis comes to this this realization, he casts Detect Magic to find out what is going on around him, and you see a lot of different colors and different magic, as well as a red silencing magic coming from the Quiet Hand officers all around him. And he realizes that the Quiet Hand is 100% organizing this, as well as the disappearances that are happening in the Hinged City, that he is not directly investigating, but is aware of because of his knowledge of the Quiet Hand and what they have done and what they are known for. Obviously, information that he has obtained in his hunt for Jarek Halverson.
From behind
Not
Moist
really.
character,
Nothing feels fuzzy.
You just see me standing there as a
No.
as a gnome, like a 70-year-old gnome with a big ass glass of me, just sitting there like,
Wait,
being this side helps me get drunk faster.
wait, who are you?
Bet you didn't.
No,
Oh,
that is
and now
not
blue. And just switch back.
Oh,
Also,
holy
my
shit.
clothes
Holy
don't change
fuck,
form, so
Brian.
I was just dragging like my fucking clothes around.
With big ass clothes.
Yeah. As he's talking, and saying that, my skin is slowly changing into the color of his skin, and I'm morphing into him, like he's looking into a mirror.
That's fucking terrifying. Please don't ever do that again.
Do you see me
Ooh.
play my
Was
sword?
that
with
purposeful, or
balloons
did that just like kind of
somehow?
happen naturally, or
That
He's like a fucking chameleon.
You
you
He's-
don't know
he's-
yet? I mean,
you
it's
don't know.
I mean,
I'm still
ah,
discovering my
Very
my
interesting.
abilities. But
please don't turn
and
it to me. I hate looking at myself in the mirror.
and yeah, as I turn to look at you in the eyes,
He
I start
does.
turning into you.
Jay, fuck.
What?
I
What's going on?
find-
I'm,
I
ducking
find it
down,
funny.
like,
I find it funny when you turn into to the orc self.
and then I switch over to you and look at you as you, like, right back at you, big guy.
Can you only turn
I
into
need to-
living
I
things?
point to you.
I need
And I-
to another cup of ale.
I believe
and
it is
then-
only
yeah.
humanoid, right?
Yeah, I look at H1 and
I'm humanoid. Says it on here.
H1 is
no,
humanoid.
I'm not getting a feeling for you. Sorry.
Just because I'm not alive. In our line of work, we've yet to met one nice creature.
Someone who's dealt with colossal type creatures before, I don't like taking with
I don't mean to call you like a creature Noctis, but yeah, you're the first nice person that like I don't like turn into things. That was I don't. Everything else has tried to kill me. I'm so serious. Everything else has tried to kill me. I don't.
What he speaks is true. We have killed about every other thing.
Creature is a crazy
think of.
word.
I don't know what to call you. I don't know. I don't know.
Human, man,
I'm a
creature.
person.
Okay.
Jeez.
Well, I mean, if it had
I
ill
don't
intentions-
understand you. I don't know where you are.
If it had ill
Fuck.
intentions,
All right, fine.
it would have tried
well,
to jump over
well,
the city
It's
instead
new.
of
This is all very new. I didn't mean to offend.
If we're gonna be together for a while, I guess I should tell you. Before the Zero event, I was a human.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah,
yourself.
Yeah. There you go. So you were part of this world.
Yes, I was
Okay.
part of a special team that dealt with these
I
kind
was
of
just
things.
saying, Lewis hits. When you say special team, Lewis hits the. Do we split up?
Hmm?
Mm.
I could.
We don't have to. We don't
I
have to. It's
don't.
just a suggestion.
I don't like that. I don't like.
If anything, I could turn into
I hate to
someone
be
else.
surprised by something if it's under it, though. You know, I don't know.
I could turn into someone else and kind of scout the yard up above.
Yeah.
If anyone catches me, I just duck around a corner and change into someone else. He's kind of just like laid up on the ground, so I'm gonna like take my wand and like flip it in my hand above him and do this. And as I pull down, it's gonna extend in like a psionic blade, and like the hilt, like the wand is just like a metal twisted like thing of wood right now, and it's gonna unfurl into like two like it's gonna be a handle and then like two
Like a hilt?
sides. Yeah,
It's gonna
hilt,
form
and
a
then
hilt and then the blade.
and then a psionic blade's gonna come out, and that's as I'm like shoving it down, and it's gonna shing, and I'm gonna roll the hit. And
Warlock
that's with
spells are cool.
yeah. No, this is my
This is his
custom
sword.
weapon.
This is his sword.
This is my wand that
Oh.
turns into a blade.
That hits.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's 7 damage.
Okay. The next adventurer that we met was Bellamy Ashsong, an Aesmir on a different plane of existence, a watcher observing a world of halflings and goblins for his entire life. He spent the last 50 years observing kingdoms fall and wars between small folk happen on a different Earth, never truly knowing his own Earth, as his astral plane was a far-off, distant place, devoid of any type of realm or plane, as far as the Earth that we know, to clarify. He was visited by his sister, who chastised him briefly and told him of her responsibilities and that he needed to get back to his before he was struck by a vision of destruction, what he would later find out to be a vision of the destruction of the Earth that we and our story takes place on. He was watching the Zero event happen through the eyes of the people on the planet as it was happening. He saw the devastation and destruction firsthand from very far away. He was called to Elder's Watch, a place sacred to his people where his clan of Watchers was founded 2 generations ago. And on his travels there, he fell through his astral plane, falling down to the sky. His Aesmir wings for the first time in his life bursting from his back, catching him briefly as he met eyes with a face in the sky as he fell down. Bellamy Ashsong is a bard at level 2 as he meets, or as we meet him today. He is a survivor of the Zero event in a different way, where he has made relationships with humans and people who have been able to survive through the wreckage and the carnage of the world being reborn. Bellamy seeks to watch and to learn, but also to act and move away from his tribe in the way that they just let things that could be bad for people happen. Bellamy is strong-willed and very curious, very wondrous on the inner makings of the world, and that's what brings him to the Hinged City as we find him at the same concert that we saw Noctis at. He's observing the way that things are going on, trying to get backstage, trying to understand the inner workings of why all these people are here, as the Quiet Hand begins to usher him away from backstage and away from the stage in general, away from the orchestra. He also notices the blue energy and the faint hum as the people begin to sway and move. He notices a car being moved through the crowd and the travel, and Bellamy begins to try and move towards it as the destruction of this area begins to happen, as energy starts to crackle from the anchors above them. The car begins to move through the crowd as an extraction team begins to try and apprehend the car. A grapple hook shoots through the sky and men begin to run towards it. The crowd begins to disperse as the orchestra continues playing for just a second, more blue energy flying up to those anchors above. You see, as Bellamy begins to try and get people away from this car and away from this impact, as blue energy starts to pulse from a briefcase from the back seat of the car. And Bellamy ends up rescuing a few people, taking them to his companion Calder Reyes in the devastation of the event before the case falls on the ground and this blue cube can be seen from it. A man tries to grab the briefcase and his arm is just eviscerated into ash in front of everybody. As people begin to scream and people begin to cry, the orchestra seems to vanish, no trace of them being there, and the Quiet Hand guards begin to disperse, one of them grabbing the suitcase and the carnage as a lightning elemental structure summons itself in front of the party. They dispatched these elementals very quickly and began to try and make sense of what happened as a hooded figure named Ilya Patchwork Caldeer approached them and explained that they were being tracked subsonically now because of the residue of the living resonance in that crate, at least what she suspected to be living resonance. Living resonance, a type of living energy that is post-zero in the way that awakened people or people who have magical abilities after the zero event, whenever they call on too much power or use too much power at once that their body cannot handle, they have a chance of eviscerating themselves and imploding and becoming pure living energy. And that cube is suspected to be that. And by being in the same capacity, listening to the orchestra, they are being tracked by subsonic speakers that have launched out of the ground. They watch as a couple of civilians who were also at the concert are arrested by drones and by latch officers, the local police of the Hinge City, as Ilya tries to usher them towards the alley. In the clips that you'll see of Bellamy, he is very intuitive, very curious of the world and the way things work, always wanting to discover more. Bellamy is definitely a wild card in this campaign, and seeing his story grow is going to be quite interesting.
We can split up 2 and 2 and just go. Who wants to come with me up? Because I'll go up.
Okay.
I'll stay with my
I'm not
partner.
stealthy. I'm not stealthy.
I don't mean to cut my stealth. I have +7 in stealth.
Okay, yeah, Lloyd, come on, we're gonna go up.
All right.
I can go up. I could use some sunlight. I want to. If I have to get on the truck, I will. But I want to go to the thing.
The crystal?
Yes, the crystal.
All right. So you kind of walk to the back of the truck, you climb up to the back, you climb over the bed, you get into it, and as you climb into it, you hear the cocking of a gun get pulled back. I don't know who you are, but you don't step closer to that crystal.
Am I like within reaching range?
So he's probably the back of the truck is at most 10 feet long.
Can I sleight of hand to touch the crystal if I'm close enough?
I don't even think you'd have to sleight of hand. You could honestly reach out. I mean, if you're trying to hide touching it,
yes.
then
I'm
yes,
trying
you
to
can roll
hide
a sleight of
touching it.
hand.
All right. If I'm touching it, I'm doing something. I got a 20.
He's gonna touch it and it's gonna break.
I got a nat 20. I got a nat 20, and I'm casting.
I'm
casting identify.
Okay, that's your action. I'm gonna let that be known. You cast a spell.
That's fine.
Could have waited to identify it.
On a nat 20, you see in the molecular makeup of this cage that is holding this crystal and holding this living resonance in this humanoid figure, it is a new element not on the known periodic table that you've seen. It is something called Egyptian. It is an ancient alloy on other worlds that has been harvested. On a nat 20, you can feel the hum of energy very, very strongly coming from it. It is almost like a massive magnet. Once you've touched it, it's very hard to let go of it. And as soon as you touch the outside of it, you hear a very strong voice ring out in your head and say, "Who are you?" I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw.
A new hand touches the beacon.
Touches the beacon.
Yeah.
You must go to Mount Calcreath.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh!
As soon as your identify spell fades and the knowledge of everything that you've gathered runs off, and you hear those words, "Who are you?" in your brain, just like when you were on your astral plane in that other world, you are struck by a vision. You see a far off distant place. You see what looks like oil rigs on this earth. You see what looks like large drill like objects that are being moved by men with tusks. and this silver alloy with gold and diamond flakes inside of it is being hefted out of the destroyed ground of this far off place. You see this rivers of this living resonance blue energy, it looks like. And as you see all of this, you take God, 9 points of psychic damage.
I still casted Identify on it again.
Yes,
How are we
I
getting
was-
it
I
out?
was
Because
saying.
I was touch it.
On your second identifying cast, you found out that it is Egyptian. You found out that it is from what you've been able to gather. You already know that it is possibly from a different Earth, which you already know the existence of other Earths from being a Watcher. What you were able to find out on a second identify, now that the crystal has more taken on its sentient form. This is you rolled a 18, 17.
I rolled a 18.
This is a living resonance pod. This is what a conglomeration of living resonance that has been collected and given so much power that it has been able to become born of its own volition. This is something without age, because age is, like it said, just a construct to it. It is something that lives outside of human ways of thinking. It is of a specific type of power to where it can foretell and see alternative endings and possible outcomes. The feeling that you would get from it is something very similar to how you would feel around your parents when you were a child. A authoritative figure that is more so watching growth while also growing.
So a feeling of authority?
It could come off as authority. Something where an amount of intimidation or resilience to be completely comfortable in the presence of this type of power. The next adventure we will meet is Grulvin of the Old Smoke. He is our strength, our barbarian in this class, but we'll get to that in just a second. He does not have memories of the world before Zero. He remembers being awake in the destruction of the nuclear bombs falling, of everything happening in this moment in time that everybody remembers. He remembers waking up. He remembers smoke. He remembers pain for a second, hot, searing heat. He remembers the instinct to run before doing just that. He escaped from a crater in the earth, running for miles before finding some type of encampment. He hid for the night and then was able to make refuge with a small group of people, making friends with a couple of different humans, one healer, traveling with them until things went south. Grulvin has always been on the run. He has always been intrigued by the fact he does not have memories. He has always been intrigued by the way that things work in this world that he has no recollection of. And as learning how to be one of these people who he has found himself near, he is also learning about himself. Grulvin is a barbarian, as I said, who we have gotten to level 2 at the moment. He is very dull in personality while also being very kind and interesting and very caring for the people around him, while also in combat being very no nonsense, get to the battle, very rage first, very straight up barbarian shit is the best way to put it. When we find him in the Hinged City, we see him with a companion of his named Nessa, and they have been investigating a blue glowing energy and a 3-period pulse coming from around the Hinged City. He has been investigating this energy for at least a couple of days as we find him. He watches as a blue pulse comes from an apartment building. The apartment building begins to glow faintly before the beat begins to fall down. The blue pulse erupting from that building and scattering down the road, following down old power lines. We find Grulven at the same concert that we saw before. He watched as the elementals were summoned. He tried to attack one and it got the best of him, hitting him with lightning lash. As he was told, Ilya approached the party and told them they all needed to run, he was very receptive of that call, and so he dove into the alleyway with her. Ilya took them by train car using her artificer magic, took them by train car to her camp where they met her companion Eamon Cross, a member of Noctis's backstory, a former Black Mercantile operative. He was one of the only people Noctis could trust. And at this camp, we saw Grulven become a little bit more comfortable with the party. We saw him become a little bit more himself, in drinking and laughing and joking with his friend or his new compatriots. The next morning, whenever he received the call to go, he leaped into the train car to journey off with this new party to try and discover the living resonance crate that they had seen last night, to try and find its whereabouts and figure out what was going on with it, and to even see if they could capture it or any information that was needed. That was what Eamon had asked them for, and at this point they really didn't have any other leads. The rest of his party, Lewis and Noctis specifically, having other reasons to go after Jarek, a member of the Quiet Hand. So the party decided to venture back into the Hinged City. However, Grulven had to go back to camp forgetting his companion Nessa, and that is where his story has left off at this point. We will now see 1 or 2 clips of Grulven. He has only been in one main session that we have done outside of our session 0, so there's not as much of a look at him, but it has been very interesting and very entertaining to see how Grulven has grown just in this short time.
Okay.
I look at Louis and I go, I'd like to try this ale. Can you teach me?
Teach you? It's just like drinking water, my friend. Come in. I show you very easy. Yes.
I'm gonna look at Jarek. I'm gonna be like,
That's it. Onward.
I roll an athletics check to jump in that bitch.
Well, damn.
That's a 27.
Zach,
So you,
I lost my D4.
Jump and fucking rattle the train.
I was gonna say, springing from where you were, you just woof, 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 and then just
No.
leap into it.
You hit the most elegant fucking like crescendo ass fucking Neo spin in the air. And
Taking your fists and putting them close to your chest to propel yourself farther.
That was beautiful.
Thank you, H1.
I'm in awe. I didn't know big guys like you could move like that with such.
That
would
might be
cry
the
if I
most
had
impressive
eyes.
thing that I've ever seen.
Such
I've
elegance.
seen some crazy shit.
I've spent years watching Another World, and that was better than anything I've ever seen.
And Ilya just like getting the magical energy ready to start moving the train. Just like, wait, what I miss? What'd he do?
You hit.
You all are
the
too
clinger's
kind.
back- you hit
He
the
might be
clinger's
our
foot.
only hope in surviving this world.
And our last adventurer is H1. H1 is a war-forged cleric. He worships the axiom of mercy, a subroutine built into his coding. His one mission in life is protect Louis LaRue and assist him in everything that he does, outside of the Black Reliquary or not. Louis LaRue's commanding officer, Atine Carousel, gave him that order with no type of derivative to move away from it, and absolutely no recall, reorder, or like mercy protocol that would cause him to turn his back on Louis in any way. The axiom of mercy speaks to H1 quite frequently to reassure him of whether or not he's doing the right thing. As we meet H1, he has just been turned on for the first time. Louis enters the room with Atine Carousel. And he is given to Louis. Louis shows him the things that he knows, and together Louis and H1 form a bond over the course of 6 months before ending up in the Hinged City and getting into the things that I have explained to you already. H1, very perceptive, very on alert, always scanning the area around him, trying to make sure that nobody dies or is lost to the cause of the mission that they are on. H1 repairing the refrigerator for Ilya Patchwork Caldeer at their camp, making sure that they were able to keep food good longer, as well as make things cold so that they were more refreshing. H1 is a very big part of this party in the way that he helps them come together and gives them something to help grow in the way that he does not know much about humans or why the way that they are, and he often asks questions or tries to mimic things that humans would do because those are the things that are common to him. H1 very commonly is always there to assist Lewis, but also looks out for others around him, but is very blunt in the way that he delivers information. And in the clips that you'll see of H1, because outside of the session that I plan on uploading this week, you guys are pretty much caught up to what happened in Session 0 and Session 1. Some of the other things that I've left out, you'll find out throughout campaigns throughout the sessions that you will see, as they'll be recalled upon and they'll be mentioned. But in the clips that you'll see of H1, he is always very mercy first, but also wanting to find out more, and always looking to Lewis to make sure that he's doing the right thing, or looking to the Axiom. And I think a Warforged cleric is a really cool idea in D&D, and I'm glad to have one in the campaign that we're running. So this is H1.
Gotcha.
Lewis?
Actually, well, I think Bellamy's more of a high perception. He brought, I don't, well, fuck.
So I got a +4. So.
I got a +5.
I got a +1 in
17.
perception, but we got a 17.
Nat 20.
H1. Your eyes kind of like shutter blue as the walls kind of start to look a little bit more crippled and a little bit more ragged, and a little bit more broken and unstable. What starts off for you as a simple like safety scan to make sure that the roof's not going to cave in on all of you because you haven't traveled this way before. You immediately realize that these blue strips that are carrying this living resonance, or what you suspect to be living resonance, that carry this through this tunnel, go on for what seems like ever. Deep underneath the Hinge City. You can feel an immense power from deep underneath the Hinge City. Like
yeah, because I'm getting. It's the same feeling that I got from when we were above ground.
All of you can kind of feel this living resonance that's around you, and everything being pulled towards the center of the Hinge City, deep underground. But you can also notice where these beams that are carrying the living resonance, they have been repaired and restructured to carry this living resonance deep underground from this subway station. Like I said earlier, it's almost like a bumper for subway cars or train cars has been repurposed to carry this energy. On a nat 20, you 100% realize this is all intentional and something is being powered underneath the Hinge City.
Yes, somebody or something is powering something. Yeah, so I'm with that information. I guess with that, I'll just kind of turn back to everybody and be like, I have you guys felt a strange energy from beneath the city before when we were last there?
With that 17.
Making your way back towards where H1 and Lewis came from.
Is it still pulling us? Kind of that same sensation of that?
No.
Vroom, 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 like.
No.
Fuck. We have to.
Like I said.
Hurry. We have to hurry.
Can I get a stealth check from everyone, please?
Oh.
A what?
We are going to call this a group stealth check, so I will take the median in everybody's
15.
roll.
No.
I have advantage. So.
Nat
That's
20.
a natural 20.
Nat 20.
Fuck yeah,
Nat 20.
Lathan!
Nat 20 with the +1s to stealth. Holy
I
shit.
rolled.
Median,
I got a
there's still
19.
chance.
But that'll get it higher.
I got a 19.
So Lathan, in the back of your mind, you hear.
You need to hide.
It's not
Unless
working.
you know it's not coming through.
It's not coming through, brother.
Damn, that's crazy. All right. Well, you hear the Axiom say to you in a robotic, metallic voice, "You need to hide."
Holy shit. I'm gonna hide right now.
Hide? What the fuck you mean? There's just walls. It's walls.
Hide.
I got
As
a 19.
as you hear the words "you need to hide," Lathan, in the first time in your 6 months on this planet as H1, you have your first moment of divine intervention. The Axiom changes the metallic coating of your skin as you wrap your arms around your friends and hug up against this wall and because of the color of the wall and the way that you have been changed, you
Sorry.
blend in momentarily against this wall of this tunnel.
Right to the axiom for guidance.
Roll a d20.
It's cutting out when you do it.
Lathan, H1, as you pray, what does you praying to the axiom look like?
For guidance on what to do with this abomination of whatever this crystal is, because it's definitely not natural. It's definitely not from this world. So, and I don't sense any good intentions that could come from it. I guess I'll mimic like what religious figures would do. Like I would probably just, as everyone's kind of standing in awe of this thing, I'll just get on my knees and cross my hands like a normal cleric would.
Bro's over here
As
casting luck
you
home.
as you reach out to the axiom and you cross your hands in front of the crest in the middle of your chest, the blue glow starts to grow brighter inside of you. And you feel this strong resonance and this strong peace across your chest as a very familiar metallic voice reaches out to you and says, "Proceed at your own pace. Go with, if necessary. Leaving alone is advised."
Okay.
And that's the story of the Veiled Presence so far in a loose nutshell. We will have our what is unofficially our session 2 or session 3 that'll air this week. And then we record them on Fridays, and the plan is to have them up by the next weekend. So expect it we recorded on Friday, expect it by Saturday or Sunday. We look forward to this adventure with you guys. I think it's going to be a great time. I think it's going to be really fun. And it's been really cool making the story for it, and I'm very interested to see how it grows. First full session should be coming sometime this week. And I look forward to it. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks you guys for showing any interest. And if you stuck around this long somehow, I really appreciate it.